What's going on, guys? Phantasm Mask here. We're back with Enter the Matrix Part 7, loading up back into the power plant. I believe we're getting pretty close to the end of this game. This is like the last really big level in the game, so last time we had I should say I had a little bit of trouble with the sniping. God, I can't believe it took me so long to figure out how to zoom in and out with this game. I finally decided to go on ahead and actually crack open the manual. Of course, this was a few installments ago, but hey, it helps. Alright. So, looks like we have a G36, which is really nice. 10 out of 10. G36 is a 10 out of 10 gun. Like, I mean, I defy you to find any first-person shooter. Well, never mind. I take that back. I was about to say how awesome the G36 was, but then I remember Battlefield 4... G36, not so hot. So I'm not exactly sure what these guys are doing, but we'll just go on ahead and just move on past. They're not important. Spare them. Yeah, I still think the hand-to-hand in this game is still really clunky. I remember it being so much better. Like, this game, when it came out, was such a big deal that it was like, hey, you know, this is a pretty big game. Matrix movies are pretty big. It wasn't... Honestly, a Matrix game actually kind of sounds like it would be right at home with video games, but I guess just with this... I feel like if they would have put maybe another 6 months into it, it probably would have been a much better game. But, you know, contracts, tie-ins, it's all got to be done at a certain point. Focus is still overpowered. Which, honestly, I think today that really wouldn't fly. I don't think that they would have a game like this where the focus power was so OP. I don't think that would happen. But to be fair, on harder difficulties, you obviously run out of focus a lot faster. But focus is like the uber god mode, if you will, of the game. Close range sniping. I think we're about to enter another sniping section too, which, yeah, I'm not really too big on. There are a few, well, maybe not. I know there's one where you're inside of a nuclear reactor, or close to a nuclear reactor, and you have to cover Niobe with a sniper rifle. And then I think an agent shows up. I could be wrong. I don't recall too well what this level entails. Alright. Got ourselves a Glock 18, UMP. Got a whole bunch of weapons. We'll stick with the G36. Super accurate. Ooh. We got ourselves some offensive grenades. He actually didn't. And you looked on the other side of that door. There was nothing on the other side, just a small closet. But I guarantee you something will be something really big once we get past that particular load zone. So supposedly and I was doing more research into how well this game was received, and by research I mean I just pulled up a Wikipedia page. And apparently the PS2 version is the worst version to play. I mean, unless you're playing PC. The PC version of this I've heard is notorious for crashing and doesn't really work. But then again, who would try to load up this game in 2015? It's beyond me.
Operator.
Can you buy me some specs on a chloro-bromo-methane gun?
Coming up.
It appears to be some sort of grenade launcher. What's it doing?
Nuclear power plant.
Okay, I've got some. It's used for nuclear accidents where it's impossible to reach a fire with hoses or fire extinguishers. Gunfire is a pressurized cartridge which explodes, releasing CBN gas. It literally strangles the fire by robbing it of oxygen. One side effect is it causes human lungs to fill with liquid.
Thanks.
See, now that sounds like a really cool weapon. And I can't wait to try it out all over 10 years after playing this game. Yeah. And they all just drop. It's beautiful. Yeah, the GameCube version was actually rated the highest, which was really surprising. I wouldn't have even remotely thought, or, sorry, let me rephrase that. I wouldn't even think the GameCube version of any multiplat would be better than PS2 or Xbox. I mean, the GameCube, I still respect that console. It had a very good lineup, in my opinion. Like, for example, time I'm recording this, Resident Evil Remake Remaster just came out, and that's just awesome game. And that was on the GameCube, and it's probably still one of the best looking games I've ever seen. Just really surprised that this one wasn't rated the highest for PS2. I can understand Xbox, because the Xbox had a little bit more horsepower behind it. To be ranked worse than GameCube? That's just weird. I'm hoping this grenade launcher doesn't cause me to crash the game. Ooh, that frame rate stutter was very noticeable. That's one thing I will give this game, for the most part, other than the environments look like garbage. The frame rate, at least up until this point, had been relatively solid for the PS2 era. I've seen games that are far worse, but of course I would be completely dead right now using this grenade launcher like how I'm using it. It's just not made for that. That's a lot of units that are getting decimated by Ghost. Huh. There's something I missed over here. Oh, yes, of course. This is probably one of the biggest straightaways in the game. You know, you don't have to have a load zone. Maybe that's the reason why the get a little bit of frame dips here. All right. Probably a cutscene.
We're in and ready to move. Got it. Go to the augmented radioactive waste area. Plant your first charge there. Head that way on this catwalk, which will lead you right to it. That area is locked down. I'm headed to the logistical control center to do some unlocking.
Okay then. That room looks like shit. The nuclear waste sector.
Follow the signs to the augmented radioactive waste storage room. You've got to get in there and plant your charge.
Is that not what we just went over? This is actually a pretty cool section of the game. I like this a lot. I like this section of the game a lot. I think there's even some music that kicks in that's pretty good. Just got to be very careful with these because they explode. Oh yeah, the game looks really bad right now. So that's why we'll just be using the grenade launcher, because it doesn't cause the tanks to explode. Also, playing this on harder difficulties is quite a challenge. It's just the amount of enemies that are in these sections is insane. Not to mention the fact that they can even target the tanks as well. Blow them up right next to you and you can die. Which is unfortunate. I think that's the first time it's had to load up the same level, section, whatever you want to call it, without a cutscene, piece of cutscene interference in the game. Interesting. One move I've always enjoyed doing was this one in particular. Even though it didn't work, I really like it when he kicks them and then the grenade goes off. It's really cool. Oh, wow. And now I'm just screwing around at this point. And the funny thing is that even if you have the invincibility cheat on, you can still die from those tanks, so you still have to be very careful. Do that. a lot of nuclear waste in this plant. A lot. Alright. Core control room.
Everybody, out! Hey, got any grenades left?
I was saving this for a special occasion.
Thanks.
Yeah. Are you sure there's no other way? Okay, I'll give you the details. I climb up to the top of the reactor and get to the core.
Okay,
You stay up here and cover me. You'll also need to keep the control room clear.
of course.
Once I'm there, you'll use these controls to open the core. I place my bomb inside the core casing. You drag up the control rods and I get the hell out of here.
Direct exposure to radiation.
I won't be in there for long.
That's suicide.
That casing is 3 feet of steel. It's got to be this way. If we fail, Neo fails. It cannot happen at any cost.
Okay. Also, some really good music in this section. Really, the second half of the game really shines when it comes to the music, as opposed to the sewer level, which just was not fun at all. Okay, let's get back over here to Niobe. See where she's at. Ah, here we are. And basically this entire level, or I should say this section, is just running back and forth between having to deal with them and the SWAT team here, and then the snipers. Make sure that Niobe is covered. Those Glock 18s, they fire so fast that it causes the game to just, well, it causes the sound to go out on them. It's great. Alright. Well, that wasn't too bad. Oh, that door is really, really shaky. I don't think that's going to do a very good job of keeping radiation inside the reactor, guys, if it shakes that much. Oh, same with that door. very... That animation seemed like there was more to it than that. It just kind of cut off. Sure. That guy just went over the rail like you wouldn't believe. And then you have to fight an agent. Which is very easy. Made possible by throwing grenades at him. Easy as that.
Are you sure if I blow the control center, it won't cause an early shutdown of the plant?
I've run that scenario a few times. We should be okay.
Pretty small rounds for a big rifle like that. Super surprised. Right to movie footage.
I can't believe it.
We did it. Did what is the question?
What do you mean?
It didn't work. Whatever was supposed to happen didn't happen. Something's gone wrong.
Ooh.
What was that?
I think it was an EMP.
How?
No idea, but right now we can't reach 1147.
Sir, we've just lost contact with the Icarus.
What?
And the Novalis. And the Caduceus.
How is that possible? I don't understand it, sir. The line is broken. God damn it, what the hell is happening?
One minute everything's fine, the next all hell breaks loose. There's no sign of Morpheus trying to do anyhow. It's gone.
Well, then who's that?
I don't know.
Well, answer it.
Operator.
This is the logos.
Maybe.
This is Captain Niobe of the Logos. Who is this?
My name is Seraph. I bring word from the Oracle. You must come at once.
Come where? To Seraph's tea house.
Tios is at the end of Wu-Ping Avenue.
Got it.
Thank you for coming. The Oracle is waiting for you. I can take you to her. But before I do, let me first apologize
For what?
for this.
So now you have to have a boss fight with Seraph, which involves using the focus to kick the man while he's down and while he's in the air. Constantly reset this falling animation, like so.
Enough. Good. Again, I apologize, but these are difficult times, and it falls upon you to measure us resolve. Come.
And this is where we're going to end Part 7. Thanks for watching. Phantasm Mask here, signing out.